A very good morning from Israel to all our viewers in India and across the world. We're here at Ground Zero reporting from the war zone. The war is at a dangerous point of escalation. This was recognized by the British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak as he landed here in Israel, the second major world leader to come to Israel after President Joe Biden's visit. I'm Barkha Dutt. You're with the Mojo Story. For the last week, you have been watching our reportage from the war zone. We have been reporting right from the Gaza border, in fact, 1 mile from the Gaza Strip. World leaders are now trying to find the balance between upholding Israel's right to retaliate after the horrific Hamas terror attack, but also trying to ensure that civilian lives are protected and secure in Gaza. Now, remember, we are talking about 1.1 million Palestinians that have been asked by Israel to relocate. And the Gaza hospital bombing has created unrest and protests across the Arab world. The American Senate Intelligence Committee has actually officially backed now, the Israeli position that it was not an Israeli rocket strike that actually hit the Gaza hospital, the Baptist hospital, where more than 500 have been killed. You're seeing those images on your screen. There are any number of other experts also who are validating the fact that this was not an Israeli airstrike. However, the disbelief about this in much of the Arab world and among Palestinian communities continues. There have been mass protests across countries, and in fact, Jordan and Egypt, despite being major recipients of American aid, cancelled their scheduled meetings with President Biden. We're now told that the United Kingdom Foreign Secretary, as well as the UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak here in Israel, will be traveling to other countries in the Middle East to try and look for ways to de-escalate the situation, a situation that is being described by Rishi Sunak as a dangerous point of escalation. Let's listen in first to a brief statement from the United Kingdom Prime Minister as he lands here in Israel.
I know the whole House will have been shocked by the scenes at Al Ali Hospital. Any loss of innocent life is a dreadful tragedy, and everyone will be thinking both of those who have lost their lives and the families that they leave behind. We should not rush to judgment before we have all the facts on this awful situation. Every member will know that the words we say here have an impact beyond this House. This morning, I met with the National Security Advisor, but also the chair of the Joint Intelligence Committee. I could tell the honourable gentleman our intelligence services have been rapidly analysing the evidence to independently establish the facts. We are not in a position at this point to say more than that, but I can tell him we are working at pace, but also cooperating and collaborating with our allies on this issue as we look to get to the bottom of the situation, and we will also continue all our efforts to get humanitarian aid into the region.
Now, Rishi Sunak there talking about the United Kingdom wanting to make an independent assessment, their own intelligence agencies to make an independent assessment on who or what led to the Gaza hospital bombing. But as I said early this morning, the American Senate Intelligence Committee confirmed independently and autonomously that they did not believe that the Israelis were responsible for that rocket strike on the Gaza hospital. That narrative, because remember, this is an information war as much as it's an actual war, being contested by Arab countries as well as Palestinian communities and their supporters. Now, meanwhile, the IDF has issued another statement. In that statement, they say that the Hamas is guilty of mistruth. The exact quote is, "Open your eyes and see the true face of Hamas." Listen to the IDF talking about what has happened in the last 24 hours.
Israel is at a war. Hamas started this war on Saturday, October 7th, with a brutal attack on Israel, killing and kidnapping Israelis, including children and women. The Israeli Air Force is operating against terrorists in Gaza, according to intelligence, international law, and the values of the IDF. In the last 24 hours, the IDF proved yet again that terrorists in Gaza not only murder Israelis, but they also murder civilians in Gaza. The IDF has confirmed and proven that it was an Islamic Jihad rocket that hit a hospital in Gaza yesterday. The IDF operates against Hamas and not against the civilian population in Gaza. We will continue operating against our enemy decisively, with determination and resolve.
Now, that argument endorsed by the Americans, independently being assessed by the United Kingdom, endorsed by several independent experts, including those who have previously worked with human rights agencies like Human Rights Watch, not being accepted as of now in the Arab countries. As I said, Egypt and Jordan cancelled scheduled meetings with President Joe Biden. Now, the West Bank has become a flashpoint. We are getting reports that 5 people have been killed in the last few hours as the West Bank erupts. Let's give you a sense of what's happening on the ground in the West Bank. Now, those protests are being mirrored in countries across the Middle East, in particular the Arab countries. Students in Egypt have been on the road. There have also been similar images in Lebanon, where protesters have been marching against the US Embassy. The Israeli Embassy in Amman, Jordan, has been stormed. In Turkey, we have seen similar scenes. And for many global leaders who are now trying to find a way to de-escalate this conflict as Israel seeks to retaliate for the Hamas terror attack. The challenge is how to help displaced Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, but also stand in solidarity with Israel. That's the diplomatic balancing line, the tightrope that many countries are trying to walk. And Rishi Sunak, the United Kingdom Prime Minister here in Israel, has announced aid for civilians, even as he warns people in the United Kingdom, which has seen a number of pro and anti protests on both sides of the divide, that anti-Semitism of any kind will not be tolerated. Take a look at this brief statement.
The increase in incidents we've seen over the past week is utterly sickening, and this government will do whatever it takes to keep our Jewish communities safe. That's why we've provided an additional £3 million of funding to support the Community Security Trust, and we are working with the police to ensure that hate crime and the glorification of terror is met with the full force of the law. Under our existing immigration rules, we do have the power to cancel a person's presence in the UK if it is not conducive to the public good. Mr. Speaker, we will not tolerate this hatred, not in our country, not in this century.
Okay, we have to see if Mr. Sunak and his team have better luck negotiating with the Egyptians in particular for a corridor that would allow Gazans who are relocating because of warnings from Israel to enter Egypt. So far, Egypt has said a flat no. Israel, even after its meeting between Netanyahu and American President Joe Biden, has said it will not allow any aid to travel from Israel into the Gaza Strip. It will, however, say yes to aid coming in from Egypt into the Gaza Strip, provided that aid is not found to be reaching the Hamas. Israel has said if there is evidence that that aid is traveling to the Hamas, those convoys will be attacked accordingly. These images that you're seeing are from 1 mile near the Gaza Strip. We have been reporting at the edge of the Gaza border where tanks and infantry and troops and gunners are lining up for a final frontal assault, that ground incursion that is expected. Perhaps world leaders privately are trying to convince Netanyahu to pull back from the precipice as rockets fall and mortar fire is returned by the Israeli side. We've lost count of the number of explosions and sirens that warn you to take cover from these falling rockets literally every few minutes. However, overtly, nobody has actually officially called, other than countries like Iran, for Israel to back off from its ground incursion. And that incursion, that invasion, that frontal assault is imminent. We were at the edge of the Gaza border asking IDF military officers about the danger of a two-front war, because the Hezbollah is engaging the Israelis in the north of the country as well. And as we were asking him this, literally a bomb went off behind us. Take a look. Officer, we've been hearing since we got here with you multiple explosions. Can you explain, are these strikes from Gaza? Are these Israeli strikes on Gaza?
They're both.
Okay.
So Hamas has been continuously shooting and firing rockets from the Gaza Strip on Israeli civilians. We are now in over 6,000 rockets and mortars that have been shot from Gaza into Israel. Let me correct that. 6,000 rockets, including hundreds of more of mortars. That's what we're hearing here. We're still continuously attacking Israel.
There is reports that another front is opening on the north as well as the south. Israel military has said it has struck Hezbollah targets. Are you concerned about a two-front conflict? And there was another sound of an explosion. The officer seems absolutely unbothered. We are trying to put up a brave face. Go ahead, sir.
We should all be bothered. War is not something that we as humans in our values want. But sadly, we're in this situation because of your barbaric acts. To your question,
yes,
Israel is prepared for all fronts, and we will not tolerate any kind of poking or trying us out. For the defense of Israel, we will do everything.
Thank you for talking to us. So there it was, explosions even in the middle of interviews. This has become the new normal that we as conflict reporters are trying to adjust to. Moments ago, the United Kingdom Prime Minister Rishi Sunak tweeting this: "I am in Israel, a nation in grief. I grieve with you and stand with you against the evil that is terrorism today and always." So global leaders are now descending into Israel, events moving at a very, very fast pace. Sunak at the same time warning that the war is at a point of dangerous escalation, something we can confirm from having been at the front, where we have with our own eyes seen a massive military build-up, rows and rows and rows and rows of tanks and gunners that are taking positions, awaiting orders on when that final assault into and on Gaza may come. We'll continue our ground coverage through the day and through the week. Thank you for watching. Take care. See you soon. It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.